right, so we're here with Doug Bradley, most notably Pinhead from Hellraiser. And so, how are you enjoying yourself tonight at this event?
Oh, I'm enjoying it a lot. Always love coming to the Toonseum. It's a great place. Pittsburgh is very, very lucky to have it and Joe Wos in its midst, I think, and looks to me like a very exciting program coming up for the year.
How did you come to be involved with Toonseum?
I got involved really just through getting to know Joe over the last 2 years or so, and I'm still based in London, but in the course of this year I will be moving to Pittsburgh. And Joe and I are talking about a few possibilities, one of which he's announced tonight, that I will co-curate an exhibition with him in 2012, which will basically be trying to bring together horror movie posters, horror movie comic art, and also kind of extend the boundaries of that. So we would also want to include general fantasy stuff and stuff like Scooby-Doo and Casper, and cast the net wide. But so we're just talking about that now. But that will be my first direct involvement in the Toonseum.
So I also noticed this poster here. Can you tell us about this?
I certainly can. This is a poster that was created by Steph Schulo, the artist, for the Steel City Con in October 2008. Spinechillers is a series that I've been involved in now for a couple of years through a production company that I'm involved in, Renegade Arts Entertainment. And it started out initially to try and do something different with the audio book. So we did an audio-visual version of H.P. Lovecraft's The Outsider.
Okay.
So it's me narrating the story, but I was filmed in front of green screen, and then I could be taken as an element and mixed with illustration and animation to tell the story. And we've done the second in that series, the audio-visual versions, which is The Telltale Heart, Edgar Allan Poe. While we've been doing those, we decided we would just do some straight audio books, and away we went. And we've been doing stories by Lovecraft and Poe and Dickens and Ambrose Bierce and W.F. Harvey and Conan Doyle, Rudyard Kipling, lots of classic horror stories. This has now become will be by the end of this year, a 13-volume box set of classic horror stories. So all the familiar Poes are there, and the Lovecrafts are there, and stories like The Monkey's Paw. And I've also brought a couple of guest readers in for the series. So Robert Englund, better known to people maybe as Freddy Krueger, has read an Ambrose Bierce story for us and an Edgar Allan Poe poem, as we've attached one of Poe's poems to each volume. And Jeffrey Combs, who was the star of the Reanimator movies as Herbert West, he's recorded the Herbert West series for us, for H.P. Lovecraft, and he's also done an Edgar Allan Poe story and an Ambrose Bierce story for us. So we will have those 13 volumes out. The first 6 volumes are already out.
Okay.
Available to buy on CD at my website, which is dougbradley.com, or at the Renegade website, which is renegadeartsentertainment.com.
All right.
You can buy those as CDs, or you can download them directly from the site.
What about, are any of these things possibly coming to an iPad near you for download on iTunes?
We've looked at the iTunes route. The problem with iTunes is You don't make money out of it. I am a very big fan of Apple. I love you, Mr. Jobs, and I wish you all the health in the world, but sort iTunes out, please. We had to go through audible.com to get to iTunes. The revenue split is abominable. I mean, it's really not worth our while. Yeah. And I would love to have it on iTunes because it's everybody's first port of call, but it amounts to economic suicide for us. You know, we need to get people to go to our website and download it there. We're not expensive, I don't think. But you know, we are a small fledgling company with a lot of plans, Renegade Arts, and unless we're making money out of it, we are not going to go forward with this at all, and we're not going to make money out of it at iTunes.
Personal note, I noticed you're from Liverpool. Are you a Liverpool soccer fan?
Absolutely I am, yes. It's been an interesting couple of weeks.
Nice.
And I will be at Piper's Pub on Southside on Sunday morning for the Liverpool-Chelsea game. And we could now move the conversation to Fernando Torres if you want, but unless you want some seriously bad language on your website, it might be best to avoid a certain tall Spaniard whom I used to love and adore and worship, but in the last week or so have grown to hate with a passion. But yes, I am. I was born and brought up in Liverpool, and it's 46 years now since I saw my first game at Anfield, so yes, I am a devoted fan.
All right. Well, maybe we can convert you to also as well some Steeler football, hopefully.
I've been watching American football on and off for as long as I've been coming to America, which is now for more than 20 years. I am a big fan of some American sports, principally baseball, which is a great passion. I have to tell you that I loathe American football as much as I adore baseball, which is a lot. I want to start a campaign, and I will do when I move here, to have American football renamed.
There are a lot of people in America that also want it renamed.
It should be called Throwball, because it has nothing whatsoever to do with feet.
That is very true. That is very true.
So if we can get American football renamed Throwball, you don't need to call it American football. There's nobody else in the world stupid enough to play that game. Call it Throwball, and then we can do away with this revolting word soccer, and the beautiful game can get its own name of football back again. I'm sorry, I know I'm not making myself popular as someone who's about to move to Pittsburgh, so I guess I should say on Sunday, go Steelers. But I can't say it with any conviction because I really don't care, because it seems like a really dumb game to me.
That's all right. We'll let that one go. On the topic of Hellraiser, we noticed that there will be a remake of Hellraiser in 2012.
Sorry.
Your thoughts?
Yes. My thoughts. My thoughts are I really don't know anything about it, other than what everybody else reads on the internet. I get a few bits of inside information, but nothing direct, because Dimension Films don't talk to me about anything. And they never did, really. Where are we now? It's more than 3 years, probably. It's coming up 3.5 years since I first got wind of this. It seems to me that they're not really much closer to getting this thing made than they were 3.5 years ago. And no sooner are they talking about a remake than they're telling us it's not a remake, it's a reboot, it's a reimagining, it's a re-envisioning. That tells me they don't have a clue what they want to do. I've heard everything up to and including Hellraiser 3D. I am not a fan of the whole remake mania. I'm implacably opposed to the whole idea. It's a dereliction of duty on the part of the producers, whose job it is to invest in new talent, to be finding the new Sam Raimis and Toby Hoopers and Clive Barkers and Wes Cravens, not taking a safe ride on the back of work already made. We're all in this to make money and earn a living, and that's fine. But with these remakes, money is the top line, the bottom line, the middle line, and every other line. And I won't go and see them anymore. I went to see the remake of Halloween, and I love Rob Zombie. But I came out of the cinema very depressed because I thought the film was horrible. Halloween, in my opinion, is not only one of the best horror films ever made, it's one of the best films ever made. It's a magnificent piece of filmmaking. And it does nothing but disrespect the original movies to me. I've actually reached the point where I've said to fans, don't go and see these films in the cinema. Illegally download them. You think I'm in trouble with my attitude to American football? I'm a member of the Screen Actors Guild of America, and I've just advocated illegally downloading films.
You've heard it here first.
But my point with that is that I came out of the cinema having seen Halloween, and I thought, the problem is, I'm part of the problem here, not part of the solution, because I've just paid my money, and that's all they want.
Yeah.
If you go to the cinema and buy a ticket and don't see the film, you turn around and go straight home, they're happy because they've got your money and that's all they want. They don't care about anything else. I broke my rule to go and see the remake of Nightmare on Elm Street, which I thought was miserable in the extreme. And the only way that they will stop doing these remakes is if people don't go and see them. I mean, I've heard that they're remaking The Birds. And, you know, it reaches a point where it is so depressing.
Yeah.
And it's not like we live in an age anymore where when movies go out of the cinema, that's it. You don't see them anymore, except when they come on TV. You know, now we live in the age of Netflix and on-demand TV left, right, and center, and DVDs and Blu-ray, and you know, so movies have a shelf life of forever now. It's not just about getting into the cinemas and out again.
Yeah.
These movies live, and you know, people are as familiar with the work of Alfred Hitchcock, probably more familiar with the work of Alfred Hitchcock now than people have ever been. You know, and these movies are what, 50 years old, and you know, and if I had any sense from going to the conventions that fans were coming to me and saying, you know, for a movie that was made 24, nearly 25 years ago, Hellraiser's not bad. I could sense that maybe there's a reason for remaking the films, but I get exactly the opposite. There's a new generation. There's a new generation finding these movies all the time, and they come to me and they say, "I've just seen Hellraiser for the first time. Ah, it was amazing. I couldn't sleep. You know, and I had nightmares and all." So it's not like people find the movies tired, and there is no appetite amongst the fans, none whatsoever, for these remakes, none at all. 1 in 100 maybe says to me, "Oh, I quite enjoyed the remake of so and so." The rest of them all have the same opinion as I do. I just think it's miserable, depressing.
Oh well, that's the movie industry. But anyway.
Well, yeah.
Well, thanks, Doug.
Hey, a pleasure.
Yep.
And the milk in first in the tanning stain, Lady Di teacup, my favorite.